Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single video. I'm not appearing on camera in this episode recap because I woke up with a really puffy face and I am not ready to be dragged by y'all. Anyway, let's jump into this recap. The episode kicks off with a filler scene that quickly transitions into us finding out that Leah's getting a new home. On the way there, she feeds her kids junk food as per usual. Then we turn over to Janelle, who's holding off on signing custody papers because Nathan still hasn't picked up the essential items he needs to care for a baby Kaiser's age. Isaac gets to FaceTime with Javi, who Kale still refers to as his daddy, even though she knows damn well she's already dropped him like a hot potato and can't wait to abuse him when he gets back from deployment. Sterling, the interior decorator, FaceTimes Kale to talk about the imploding marriage, and I noticed that producers had Kale slip in a bridging line, which was the other day I texted him, and it was just so obviously filmed after the fact because you could hear like a studio echo. Adam is actually shown hanging out with his kids in this episode, and he tells Aubrey that he's proud of her concert performance that he miraculously made it to last episode. Our Dakota darling Chelsea invites the producers over to announce her pregnancy as she wears the same camo shirt for the third episode in a damn row. The producers are super excited for her and Cole. One of them even tries her best to cry on cue. As Chelsea then mentions how she needs to get her wedding dress altered because, in true teen mom fashion, she plans to be a pregnant bride. Over in Wilmington, Janelle lets us know that she signed the custody agreement at long last, and apparently she and Nathan have to meet each other halfway to drop off Kaiser, which seems reasonable enough, but nope, not to manipulative David, who says that Nathan should actually be the one driving all the way. Okay, back to Chelsea. She claims that she and Cole weren't trying for a baby, but newsflash, if you're not on birth control and you're doing the nasty, then you are most certainly trying for a child. I don't think her, quote unquote, being careful was a reference to wrapping it up, but rather the pull-out method, which is tragically embarrassing for someone who's supposed to be an advocate against, unexpected pregnancies or whatever. Now, Leah calls her unfortunately named friend Chastity to announce her home purchase and says that she's glad things like this help her kids live a better life than she did. But I'm just trying to figure out why she cheats on husbands if that's her MO. She had a home with both Corey and Jeremy, but decided to bust it wide open for Robbie on the deer cam both times and lost it all. Our lovely friend V makes another Teen Mom 2 appearance this episode. At her and Joe's home, they go over how nervous they are about Javi potentially returning from his deployment to kind of ruin the co-parenting relationship that he and Kale have going on. We all know Javi was always a massive meddler in Kale and Joe's relationship. But more so than that, they worry about how Javi's split from Kale will affect Isaac and Lincoln's relationship. They want the brothers to still remain close, and Joe even says, listen, if Javi wants to maintain his relationship with Isaac, I am more than willing to help facilitate that because Isaac has known him for a really long time. It was a wonderfully mature conversation that I'm glad made it to air. Now, Janelle's Snapchat picture perfect family heads for Orlando, Florida, and she literally does not miss a single second to talk shit about Jace's mom, Barbara, right in front of him. As they drive cross country, David's mom drops Kaiser off to Nathan, who seems to have finally found the car seat aisle at Toys R Us. At Chelsea's house, Aubrey comes home and Chelsea and Cole both give her the baby announcement card that they've prepared for her. It was super cute watching her read it, and I heard a lot of you guys thought she was being shady for saying that Aubrey was going to be a big sister and not a big sister again because she already has a little sister named Paisley. But I don't really have much of an opinion one way or the other about this. I do see where you guys are coming from though. I mean, Chelsea in the past saying that Paisley didn't count as Aubrey's sister definitely doesn't help things, but I digress. Now let's get back over to Leah's home where we see Allie hurt herself on the backyard slip and slide. When Leah asks her if she wants to wear a helmet, Allie says no, only to fall again, and Leah actually yells at her for it for some reason, and I felt really, really bad for the poor baby in that moment. Our darling friend Kale was in hardcore diva mode when Javi called to FaceTime her as she refused to answer on camera and said she wanted to stop filming for the day altogether. So the producers, like anybody else would, just asked her like, hey, Kale, why don't you just pick up the phone and tell him that you don't want to speak to him on camera? At this point, she literally starts yelling at them in front of Lincoln for no reason. And it's just super odd because, like, these people were being nothing but nice to her. I didn't think that they were being antagonistic whatsoever. And here you are teaching your child that it's okay to just yell at people because they don't say something that you want them to say, or, it just wasn't a good message to send to your child, I feel like. Anyway, since his wife wouldn't pick up his phone calls, our darling Poppy turns over to his fine friend Darius. He tells Darius that he and Kale have decided to just go through with a divorce for good. Javi says it sucks to be a 23-year-old divorcee and to have to split Lincoln, and that he wants to stay close to Isaac as well. I thought that was nice, but saying that he basically raised Isaac since he was 1 year old was a little bit too much. It's not like the child was fatherless. Javi also says that he's going to move and has already found a home that he'd like to stay in when he returns. Back in Janelle's uncomfortably undramatic world, Nathan's mom texts her a video of Kaiser at the park, and she and David get really pissy about the fact that it's Nathan's mom and not Nathan spending time with Kaiser. They have a conversation about how Nathan should be the one spending the time with Kaiser because he doesn't work or go to school, and it was just so ironic because these are the same arguments that could be made for Janelle when it came to Kaiser last season. Wasn't the baby with like David's sister pretty much the whole entire time? And her own son Jace, who's raised by her mother because she couldn't be bothered to parent. Over in West Virginia, Leah drives to the local parking lot to exchange the twins with Corey, where she tells him that she's moving closer to them and the school, and that Allie didn't want to wear her helmet at the water slide, but that they needed to be more strict about it. Corey basically says, fuck doctor's orders, she can ride a bike, and Leah asks him to be a little bit more realistic about Allie's limitations. Now, in Delaware, Sterling makes it over to Kale's house with some freshly dyed hair, and Kale reads a nice text that Javi sent about the divorce. A producer asks Kale if they've got lawyers involved, and she says that she doesn't want to discuss it. She also says that she doesn't want to bash or fight Javi, which we all know is a complete fucking lie. She does say, though, that he's a good person, just not good for her. Apparently, Poppy wants too much affection, whereas Kale can go days without texting someone. And honestly, that is a really stupid reason to split up your family. I mean, you didn't realize this during the dating phase? Really? Anyway, Kale also hopes that Javi maintains his relationship with Isaac as well, and the episode ends there. You guys, I'm so curious to hear your opinions on this episode of Teen Mom 2. As always, leave all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below and we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more, feel free to share it with your friends, and follow me across social media as well, where I do love chatting with you. That's all for now, and thank you so much for watching.